Michelle's uncle, Jesper, and his wife, Anne, were phenomenal hosts. From the day we arrived to the moment we left a week later, Anne and Jesper made time to take us all over Copenhagen. They showed us all the sights, they paid for everything. And then they ended our last day with a night in Tivoli Gardens. Tivoli is this gorgeous little amusement park right in the middle of Copenhagen. And it was built in 1843. It's got roller coasters, merry-go-rounds, puppet shows, and this gorgeous ambiance, especially at night. Michelle, who had just spent a year studying in Austria, was gushing about how perfect everything was. And I said, yeah, it's kind of like Denmark's version of Disneyland. Michelle didn't like that. Of course, Tivoli is better than Disneyland. It's European. I, on the other hand, had some pretty good memories of Disneyland. So we actually started arguing about which theme park was superior. Fortunately, Anne, who was very well traveled and had been to Disneyland, was standing right next to us. So I asked her which one she thought was better. Anne paused, thought for a moment, and then rocked my world with 4 syllables. I like them both, she said. I like them both. It's not a terribly complex statement. But it made me realize that Anne had learned something about traveling that neither Michelle nor I had. Something about how to enjoy life. Why is it that humans are so concerned with better? You can see people get in this argument when they're traveling all the time, but we do it in almost every area of life. What's better, chicken or beef? Pepsi or Coke? Boxers or briefs? I even remember once when I was a kid, I was at a summer camp where the entire population literally divided itself on battle lines for whether to call a carbonated beverage soda or pop. Even Jonathan Swift, when chronicling the battles of the Lilliputians in Gulliver's Travels, once noted that 11,000 persons have suffered death rather than submit to break their egg at the small end. While this is, of course, satire, it's not hard to find examples of countless human lives being lost over matters such as ethnicity, politics, or any other preference which humanity might hold. I'm not here to argue that there's no place for ranking or competition, but this does seem a little bit absurd. After that night in Tivoli, I spent a lot of time thinking about this, not just when I was traveling, but when I got home. I've come up with a theory. I think the reason we have these arguments is because it's so easy to confuse good with better. If you think about the things that each of us love, our favorite hometown sports team, food, or hobby, they're really extensions of ourselves, and our self-worth is wrapped up in the value of what we value. We want to know the things that we love are good because we want to believe that we are good. But it's a very small step between good and better. And that's when we start arguing. If we'll admit it, I think each of us is secretly afraid that if somebody loves something different than what we love, they think that our life, our food, our job, our city, is a little bit worse, subpar. So we get in an argument with them about why what we love is better, not because it matters, but because we're insecure. Because we want to know that we're okay. I consider that argument I had with Michelle at Tivoli one of the best examples of my own inexperience and insecurity. And I'm so glad that Anne was there to show us how silly we were being. While we were bickering, she was just enjoying a beautiful evening. And I love the poise that she showed. She had all the reason in the world to defend herself and her hometown, to say, Tivoli is better. She didn't even look like she thought about it. She didn't need to. I wish everyone had that graceful confidence. I wish I had it. But, like all problems, the first step to dealing with it is to realize that it's there. night, I'm here speaking mainly to myself. I still feel superior because I drink microbrews instead of Bud Light. And when I travel, I compare every city to Seattle. And as a Toastmaster, I have utterly lost the ability to listen to anybody talk without counting their ums and ahs. And I feel slightly superior for using them less. Somehow, I think I might be alone. One of the best parts about life is that it's always giving us something new, unusual, and especially different. There's always a country we've never been to, a book we've never read, a song that we've never heard. I just hope that we're the sort of people that can learn to enjoy that diversity. Every new thing that we can learn to love is like a breath of fresh air, and everything that we dismiss or discount because it's different is stagnation. Each of us will never love everything, or maybe even the same things, but we can all learn to appreciate the vast and dynamic scope of humanity and this great planet we inhabit. As often as someone asks us whether pizza is better than pasta, if Seattle is better than San Francisco, if wine is better than whiskey, I hope we're not afraid to pause for a moment, think about it, and tell them with confidence